có đảm bảo là sẽ đầy tiếng quạt không cái vít này, nhưng mà thực tế anh sẽ nghe tiếng vù 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 thôi. Kiếm danh chưa Tâm? Để danh trên Google chứ.
Trên Slack á?
Không, Google cái room mà.
Cái đấy hình như là hôm qua mình lấy hôm qua mà.
À, cái này hôm nay có rồi này.
Bỏ qua lại chắc là máu liều của não.
Okay, so afternoon everyone. Okay, so today we start with chapter 1. And I send you the link for update the books by Okay, from this week we had an exercise. So what an exercise, you can just click in here, and here you have the 5 chapter. For each chapter you have the number of exercise.
Chưa, đã biển danh rồi trên Google rồi.
Okay. So all the exercises are based on the slide. So just look inside the exercise and find the keyword, what is the requirement, and try to work with the team.
Ôi dồi ôi.
So for exercise, you need to submit in team. So this week we finished the chapter 1. And for chapter 1, we mentioned about the computer component and computer performance, right? Today we talk about the performance. And you have many questions here, right? You have some questions here. So, for example, chapter 1, you have about 13 questions. And you need to work with a team and try to, to share the problem to everyone. And then you just make a recording, present your solution. Okay, so for present your solution, you do not say you do not show the results, and also you need to show what is the reason or why you can solve that problem. So basically, for one question, we need to describe a little bit about the knowledge, the background, right? So after showing what is the background for the question, and then you share what is the way to solve the problem. Okay, so for the exercise, you need to submit with your team, but in video recording is not like before. Okay, so in the report you can copy from the other team, but for video clip you need to make recording for all the members, and all the members should present in with your team, and you make recording and take it. So we had a 5 chapter. So of course we had a 5 video recording with the team, right? And even you can copy from other sources. No problem. Just try to understand, and also you make a recording or make presentation with your team and show me the link. So that means you do not submit the video clips on the Slack or Classroom, but you just send me the link, only link. So that means you finish your exercise with the team, and then submit, you upload in the Google Drive, your own Google Drive, and then send the link to me. Okay? Do not send very big video clip to the Classroom, so it cannot store the big file. Okay? So that is the way we work with exercise. One thing, work with team. The second one, make a recording. Make a video recording to present your solution. And just one more notice about presentation is you not only show solution, but also you need to show what the background and how to solve the problem. Okay? So it depends on you. It depends on your innovation. It depends on your team. You need to discuss and decide what kind of presentation you want to show, right? How to solve the problem. You can connect with other people, no problem. But understand the link that you are working together to make the video, to make a video. Understand about the exercise? So we had a deadline for exercise. So I hope next week should be the deadline. Okay, so that means you have a team on Slack. Okay, you have a team on Slack. And you just look inside here. So for example, I will just add the channel, right? Add the channel. Each channel it has some add channel. And channel should be one group. For example, I create group 1 here. Group number 1. Okay. So in A1, the last A1, you have the group 1. So everyone in group 1 should join with this one. Okay? Yeah. So maybe, okay, maybe there is some people. So for example, group 1 should be, okay. And then I click the group 2. Okay? So in A1, how many groups you have? How many? I sent the link already, right? Is that right here? You can see that we have that. Here, group. Okay, in A1 you have the 5 members. And of course you need to choose the leader. Okay? You need to choose the leader. Yeah, it depends on you, right? You can join and you can connect with your friend and then tell me who's the leader. Okay, last time I said I choose randomly, right? But now you can connect together and tell me who's the leader. Okay? So group 1, do you know each other? Group 1 in A1. Raise your hand, please. Here we have the Tanzan Thai. Hi, Siddhi. Are you A1? So what is the class here? Let's see. Okay, here you can see that most of you from the B, right? Not A. B1. Okay, let's see B1. Who's the B1? Yeah, B1 here. Oh, so many. Okay, so B1, in B1 you have, one more member. Okay, Lê Phước Long. Lê Phước Long. Nobody? Nguyễn Đức Anh? Okay, good. Hồ Phú Cường. Hồ Phú Cường. No. Nguyễn Thành Đạt. So only one member. Okay? So, Đức Anh, do you know how to connect with the people from your team? No? So this is our Slack. This is our Slack. Okay. The most important thing is the when we created people now. Group 1. Let's see how to. Remember only one. Okay, so for example, like here, sorry, I just move to the B1, right? B1 here, right? Okay, let's start with the a channel. Okay, so in group 1, I need to check what the name Anh. Đức Anh, right? Okay, very good. So you are now, okay, you are not a member. Okay, so I want to send you with the channel manager. Okay, so you can add your friend to join. Okay, now next I will check another one. Okay, the same thing. So from now on you work with the group 2. Here. Okay, so let's see if you can make the, who should be group 2. Now let's see. Phan Tùng Dương. Tùng Dương is one here. Đào Duy Dương. No? Nguyễn Quang Huy. No? Nguyễn Xuân Khánh. Okay, good. Right? So let's see Khánh is here. So let's see Khánh. Xuân Khánh. So So no name, what's the name? Fabian? The last one? Okay, you, right? And now you become channel manager. Okay? And you can ask your member to join with this. Okay? Clear? Do you know how to add the people? Very simple. Just join and add clicks. Okay? Add the member, and then you should name all the member. So the channel manager, maybe you should be a leader. Okay? Maybe the leader. Okay, so next I will check the group. Let's see. Okay, in group 3, you can see that we have Nguyễn Anh Minh. Okay, Minh, right? Nguyễn Anh Minh, it's good. Minh, Nguyễn Anh Minh, Nguyễn Đức Minh, who should be? Nguyễn Đức Minh, yeah. Did you join Slack? Minh? Not that? Wow. Why? Yeah, I think you need to join, right? Because everyone booming it. Okay, good here. This should be the channel manager. When we did, is that you? Booming it, the first one? Okay. So now you become the channel leader. Okay. Okay? And then you have your friend to join together. Okay, very good. Do the same thing. Group 4, Ngô Nhật Hào. Hào Xuyên. Okay. Hào you join Slack? Did you join? Group 4. Okay, so next time I will share in private. So that means you can see anything inside, right? And the name? How, right? How did you join Slack? Ngô Nhật Hào here, right? Okay, you now become the channel, right? Yeah. Channel manager. Okay, so for example, we have a 5 group, and now group 5. I do the same thing as you want. Right. Let's see group 5's example. Group 5 should be Đinh Phương My. Here? No? Tiến Khánh. Okay. Lê Anh Khôi. Anh Khôi. Not here. Lê Anh Khôi. Group 5? No? Okay, so Khánh should be Khánh. Nguyễn Đức Khánh, right? The second one? This one? Khánh Linh. Okay. Very good. Khánh Linh now becomes the channel manager. And you can add your friend to join. Okay, Khánh? Clear? You know how to add the people. Very simple. Just add here and just add the name. Okay? And collect them to join. Okay, so for that we have many groups. For example, in group D1, we have the 10 group. Okay? We do the same thing. And actually, not only B1, but B2 and B4, we do the same thing. So, could you tell me, can you create who should be the leader? If let's think about the first one should be the leader, what do you think about that? The first people should be the leader. Is that correct? Or we choose randomly last time? Yeah. So I'm not sure, but for Grant B, I want to, let's see, who channel make should be the leader. You tell me about that update about the leader here. So you need to vote, right? Who should be the leader? Who who should be the leader. For example, I created some group here and channel manager should be the leader. So, okay, you know that? Eh? All the group have a leader. Yeah. And you need to discuss and tell me who the leader and we need the exercise one. And the deadline should be next week. Okay? Okay, so I just notify here.
Jalan một.
Mai tao lagi.
Sai một này đấy.
Một đây này.
Đâu đâu đâu.
Đâu rồi đâu.
Nó có zoom.
Là luôn rồi. Slide. X. Là bài này á, bài 1 này á. Đúng không? Đi tới nhỏ mà được không? Màu luôn à.
Point to do the first one, you need to join with the class and group correctly.
I would like Wait.
Okay. So here is the first deadline.
ta vẫn bình thường. Rất tệ. Chắc là ta sẽ không để cái này công khai. Tao nhớ là tao vào nhóm, nhớ tao vào cái này rồi. Thì đâu cúp B đây. Tao đâu? Tao đây, tao ở group 4. Ok, thế group 4 ở đâu? Tao mới được vào group 4. Nó mới là vào được group 4.
Okay, so for the whole group one, we had the deadline 21, and you need to join with the right. Okay, so follow the class. I will create, for example, here I will create 10 group, right?
Rồi, thì đâu group 4 của em chỗ nào? Group 4 của em. Nhóm thầy phân ra rồi đấy, nhưng mà không biết ở đâu hay. Ta cứ xem cái bài này là bài gì đấy. Consider what is machine.
Okay, so now you have a 10 group, and for example, this is a B1. So follow the link that we mentioned here. Okay, so B1 should be follow the link that you join, for example, that we mentioned. Okay, that's group 10. Okay, group 10. B1 group 10. We have many groups. Group 10 like Levivu. Here. So Levivu, could you join you know the group?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So can you join your group here, group 10? Do you know how to join?
Yes.
Okay, so could you join the group 1, group 10? Can you join?
I'm trying to play.
Yeah. So, what's the name? Okay, so I want you to do this. Okay. Okay, for example, this is group 10, right? And you can join. So I put in here.
Đây là sao không hiểu?
So who should be group 10? Please join. Okay? Yeah. Now tell me who group 10, please join. Anyone here? Just click here and you can see the link for group 10 and click and join group 10. And enjoy the channel.
Chí đấy.
Okay, so I will create the link here, and if you are group 10, just click here group 9, for example, group 9. If group 9, I set here, let's see, set the link. Okay, so let's see here, you set it.
Tao đoán là tao phải có một file Word.
Okay, who group 9 please accept? Anyone group 9? Group 10 here, I can see like people. Okay. You here. So you need to join correctly. with the correct group. Okay, now group 8, do the same thing.
Ta là group 4. Group 4 qua từ lâu rồi. Đủ mát. Chết quá. Không hiểu lắm.
Okay, next time I will guess many. Group 7. Okay, I send you the link and then join it. Right? 7.
Tôi vẫn chưa hiểu cách nào.
Okay, so follow the link, just click and join. And next time I will change the group into private so that you cannot join with other group, you only see your own group.
Yeah, nhưng mà
Okay, so group 7, anyone? Group 8, nobody?
em không
Group
thích
9,
đâu.
Việt Bùi, there are one. Group 10, only one. Oh, here. We are 4 members. Group 9, we have
Thầy đã
3
làm ở
members.
V1 mày ạ.
Okay,
Ta sẽ
good.
chờ thầy đến V4.
And also,
Thầy đang ở V1, còn lâu mới đến V4. Ok, thế thì ok. Biết thế. Ê Tâm. Mày hiểu cái này không? Tao hiểu trên liền này. Mày hiểu không?
Không,
Tao cũng không hiểu.
nhưng mà mày sẽ cần phải quay video. Quay video mày chết.
Thế là sao tao không hiểu? Thế là tao sẽ phải quay video, tao làm cái này á.
I want one monitor in one class, so actually I will present on
Là
here.
sao? Giải thích này thì tao chưa hiểu lắm. Tao chưa hiểu.
I will choose one.
Tao thực sự chưa hiểu.
Lebibu?
Này, tao không hiểu.
Okay, so I'm making you become the monitor. So and then you just add the people in the group. That will be okay. Follow the link we show everyone. Lebibu. Okay. Let's see. I check.
Không, tao chẳng hiểu gì.
How to check the row.
Kiểu để tao chết liền. Có cái môn này là thầy bắt mình phải đọc ở nhà, xong rồi đến đây chỉ để thực hành thôi á.
What's the Lebibu?
Hoặc kiểu này tao chết, mày cũng chết.
Oh, I need to start at admin. Okay, so I think we will change the admin.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
Bye bye.
Where's the name? Book here.
Nó xỉ bay.
I don't know how to set it become the administrator. How to change it?
Hóa ra là thắt xỉ bay. Nó xì rơi điện thoại.
Okay, I'm not choosing that. Okay, sorry, I need to do by myself because I cannot assign you become the admin. Okay, I will change later.
Ok.
Okay, I will change later.
Ôi.
Oh. I need to remember. What is it? Wait a moment.
Ta chưa hiểu gì hay.
Okay, here, let's see who should be. Where's the name? Baby Wu, right? Baby Wu now become admin. Who? Okay, the admin. Okay. So who could you do the same thing as I mentioned before, right? Okay, you share me the link for, here we already have my group, and now you create group 4, like I mentioned here. Click on group 4, click here, setting and share the link, copy link, and show it here to everyone. Click on here, it is general channel. Group 4, and then press, right? So group 4 can join. Okay? Can you do for the same thing? Who? Could you help me to work the same thing, okay? I'll start with the lecture and then you finish with the group 3, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Okay? And then you should support me to create the group for other class.
Hả?
Be okay?
Hả?
Yeah, it's very simple. Now let's try with group 3, 2 and 1, right? So that everyone can click and join. So let's see, the channel should be, yeah, the channel should be, let's see.
Ép là mình phải làm cái gì hiện tại tất thế.
Is someone here? Okay. Okay, let's go back because we already showed you some time. Okay, keep going on with the lecture. As we mentioned, the computer component includes 3 main components. The first one is CPU, Central Processing Unit. Second one should be memory. The third one is input-output devices. So even you have many types of computer, but exactly you have the 3 main components. Clear? In fact, right? In fact, you can see there are many components. For example, computer may be the hardware and the software, right? So it is depend on the view, the point of view. It just based on the processing about the data process. It should be divided into 3 components, but it just focus on the hardware and the software. You just think about 2 kind of components. Hardware should be all electronic and mechanical material that is included in the hardware.
Đây select.
Laptop, right? Inside the laptop you can see the mainboard, okay? The monitor, keyboard, display, and mouse. And the laptop now combine many components together. It's a simple line, and it makes laptop very small, thin, right, and mobile. But you know, for the desktop, right, it put on the table, and it high performance. It should be the case that we mentioned here. Okay. Oh, as you can see that there are some component inside the desktop, not in laptop. Okay. In desktop you can see that we have a case something like this. Here. Inside the case, okay, you have many components, mainly mainboard, motherboard. The motherboard is actually the circuit. They combine many components inside. For example, CPU, okay, you can see that the CPU here, here's the CPU. So it has a fan, right? It has a fan to reduce, okay, the thermal. The memory, hard disk, okay, and power supply. You can see this is the power supply. Here, power supply. It's the power supply. Or you have many slot here, okay? You can put a news adapter. You connect with the computer. But the PC now simplifies and it runs very fast because you can see that many connections between components, many connections. Okay? Yeah, it also affects your performance. Especially computer now have a network adapter. They connect with the network to share, to communicate, to share the data, upload and download. And some desktop with a high performance, they need, okay, graphic card with the high performance. At that time, you can play game, you can deal with some other design program. It requires a lot of quality for the display. Okay. Peripherals actually is not inside computer, but it connects with your computer. And if you want to connect with the computer, you need some port. Let's see, what is the port here? Port.
Thầy bảo là
Okay, the port.
presentation. Có nghĩa là mình thuyết trình.
Okay, like the monitor, normally, right now monitor use HDMI cable to connect with the system unit or case. Okay, the keyboard. How about the keyboard? The keyboard for the laptop is included with the mainboard, right? But when you open it, you can see the keyboard has a connection with the mainboard. But for the PC, normally, for the desktop, normally you have the connection. Okay, the connection also normally USB. You can connect with that, right? Right? You can connect with the case use the USB. A printer. Nowadays, more connected printer use a USB connection. For displaying, use a HDMI. And you may have some trouble. For example, I connect with projectors use the HDMI connection, right? Because we use it multiple times, and okay, and you can see that after some time, connection is not so good. Connection is not so good, so you cannot display your screen on the projector. So nowadays they use a wireless connection. For example, you can share, okay, content from the laptop, from the smartphone to the projector, to the TV, due to Bluetooth, due to Wi-Fi connection. Okay? So why this display or why this connection are very popular right now? Because it's very convenient. Okay? You do not need any cable. Just share. Okay? Very, very interesting. Yeah. So technology are changing all the time. Very quickly. Very quickly. Okay, from beginning, when you enter school, you enter university to buy a laptop with a high performance. Okay, with some software. And now it's outdated. Outdated. Because you need to download many software, it requires high performance. And actually your computer cannot assure that, cannot provide enough the performance for running very strict application. Some guy are playing game, of course it requires high CPU speed, high RAM, high memory. Okay? Yeah. So we are talking about what is performance of computer. But I just tell you about open the task manager last time, right? It is the way you use the Windows 10 to check what is the performance. Task manager. And here you can see that we have many processors running in your computer. Many processors. Okay? Many. And you can see also there are some resources in your computer. Most are CPU and memory and disk. And what else? Network. Network now become the resources. So let's see, right? What we mentioned here about the CPUs, about the memories, input, output device, not enough. Okay? Most are connected network. So the network resources also one thing we should maintain, we should control. Okay. So let's see the main component of the computer right now. Check a little bit, right? Memory, CPUs, network. Okay. And of course, input-output device. Without input-output device, you cannot enter, you cannot input data, and you cannot produce an output. Okay, so that the task manager for the Windows, they monitor all process with resources, CPU, memory, disk, and network. And memory and disk, what is the difference? Disk is the memory. Of course, right? Disk, we had many types of disk, right? For example, we had the USB disk, we had the NAND disk, we had the HDD disk inside your computer. You also had the USB, you can have the network, cloud, driver. Okay, let me show. We had a homework one. Every video clip should upload in the Google Cloud or other cloud, whatever, because they had a server, they store your data there, right? You do not need to store your computer, okay? If you run out the memory, you cannot do that. So driver, also the way, or the network driver become very popular right now, especially with internet increased speed. So of course you can use the network driver. Okay? Yeah. So we can just go back and see what happened here. But you can see performance here will tell you about what is parameter for the own component in the computer. Like the CPUs, okay, memory, disk, Wi-Fi, and GPU. What is mean by GPUs? We had a new component here, right? GPU, what does it mean? Okay, so we had a CPU and now we have a GPU. What does it mean? So GPU is now a new resources. Okay, with the Wi-Fi is the network resources. We also mentioned about CPU and memory and this, but now we have a new ones. GPU. GPU means graphical processing unit. Graphical means we have another chip, not only for displaying, not only for graphics, design, right? It requires processing capability, but just focus on graphical design, especially for image processing, right? Okay, for gaming, actually it requires the GPU. So GPU is exactly the kind of processor, but it only for graphical processing. Okay? So if you want to play game or design, like using the Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator and so on, right? We have many tools related to graphical. So at the time you need to use the GPU. And with the GPU, it helps your computer run very fast, display very fast, right? Especially for watching movie with the HD quality. So graphical processing unit become very important. So when buying your computer, you need to think about all. Okay, not only the CPU. What about the speed? What about the memory side? What about the hard disk side? But also, what about the GPU's speed? Okay? Yeah, so they are all resources. But processors are very important. So actually, processor is not CPU. What does it mean? Let's see, what is CPU? CPU means central, right? Processing unit. Central processing unit, that means it in charge of calculating, right? Okay, moving or controlling. So it is controller. But exactly, right now we have a CPU with multiple processors. So you can call it a multi-core CPU. Okay? Multi-core means multi-processor in one chip. So central processing unit are different with the processor. Clear? Means you may have multiple processor in one CPU. But here the mention is not correct. Okay? From beginning, one CPUs only had one processor. But now on you can see quad-core. Quad-core means 4 processors in one CPU. So that means you can run the 4 tasks at the same time. And it makes your computer run very fast because it can run multiple tasks at the same time. Okay? Let's see. How many processors we have? Only one. Right? But computer now has a multiple brain. So let's see, brain is the same with CPU, with the processor. And the people, only one. It is a central processing unit. It also the processor. But computer now is very different. And computer is stronger than people. Okay? And even stronger than the strongest people. So as you can see, there are some software they can play chat with the people. Very famous player, chess player. Okay, he's the champion of the world. But cannot play with the computer, right? Especially computer run with multiple processors. So here you can see there are some manufacturer, there are some company, they just design, okay, very long time ago, they designed the CPU. So what is the manufacturer? Normally, and very famous is Intel. The Intel company now have a headquarters in Ho Chi Minh, okay, and they recruit many students to make the chip, to make the CPUs, right, in Ho Chi Minh, yeah. Some are not major in IT. They are major in electronics, electrical, major in material science. Okay, just focus on the physical layer. Focus on electric component. Okay, another manufacturer, AMD. And Intels are very expensive, and technology are very high. But AMD normally cheaper. Okay? Yeah. So you can see that chip business become very important because it is the main component of own computer. Okay? So every country want to design a chip, even Vietnam, right? You know. The Vietnam want to design a chip, Vietnamese chip. Okay. And China, right, very good in designing the chip. And also, they provide some material for designing the chip. You know, chip is a silicon. They make from the chemicals 11, right? So some of these are measured in material science. Anyone here? Okay, yeah. So that means every measure can connect together and make product. Okay? And now you have the main component inside your computer, and now how to run a program. The program is a software. How to run? Okay, first we need to define what is the program. You write a C programming language. Okay, you make the program, follow the algorithm, and then you compile it into the executable file. And then, if you want to run, load in the memory. Load the executable file or binary or machine code into the memory. It is the RAM. Okay? And then the CPU will read instruction by instruction. Here you can see processor carry out this instruction in orderly fashion. Remember, orderly fashion, not step by step. But sometimes you can see there are looping, it go back, right? If there's a condition, they need to choose which option to follow. So here they mention orderly fashion. Okay? For the instruction of the program, it can be arithmetic instruction. That means addition, subtraction. They are actually arithmetic operator. Okay? So instruction can be very simple operator. Okay? Next is a logical operator. Logical means you can combine true and true become true. And right? So logical here, the Boolean. Okay, follow the Boolean. Arithmetic. Apply for comparing the data It only had a two value, true or false. And next are moving. So in the instruction program, even you write and see, we had many kind of function, many kind of data types, but exactly the CPUs only understand some instruction. It should be follow the instruction set that we mentioned later. Okay? So the computer program here actually executable file the series of instruction. It combines from the any high-level language into the machine language. Okay, so let's see. If you want to run one application in your computer, it should be an executable file. So do you know what is an executable file? Okay, extension is exe, and you can see that when you open the Explorer, should be application file, and the operating system can classify who should be application depend on the extension. The processor actually there are parameter will tell you about what is the performance, and of course the speed are highest, and then the cost also high. Okay, processors are very expensive. Clear? And you can search on the internet what about the processor for Intel. Here you can see the Core 2 Duo. Core 2 Duo. So it's from Intel. So what about the price? Very expensive. And the processor speed are measured by megahertz or gigahertz. Nowadays most computers use gigahertz, right? Gigahertz? Yeah. But what is the gigahertz? The gigahertz actually is the frequency. How to measure the frequency? They use based on the clock. So inside computer we have a clock. What is clock? And why we need a clock in computer? Clock actually can be used for synchronized own action. So let's see, when you work like, the computer work like tick-tock, 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 all instructions should be followed in one duration, tick-tock. Okay? So if run tick-tock, 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 so that means turbo mode. Turbo mode, it runs very fast, right? And at that time you can see that the chips are very hot. Chips are very hot. Okay? Because it runs very fast. And because the clock are double. Clock are very fast. Tick-tock, 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 compared to tick-tock, tick-tock. Then faster should be increased performance. Okay. So we will talk about how to measure the speed of the CPU, but you just understand the principle behind. The multi-core processor means you may have a 2, 3, or 4 processor core in a single chip. How do you know? Just open the task manager and click on the CPUs. And you can see here core is a 4. What does it mean? My computer or my CPU, there are 4 processors inside. So that means 4 core. Especially they also have the logical processor about 8. Okay, so multi-cores now become the trend because it's make running program very fast, but it's costly. It costs, right? The RAM, actually the main memory, everything if you want to run should be loaded in the RAM. RAM has some characteristic like content of memory are lost after you turn off the computer. Okay, the RAM. and it is module. And if you want to upgrade your laptop, okay, that's very good. But you may ask the question, how the memory we need to extend. So it depends on the RAM module. Normally they sell in the market, right? And then you just plug in your computer, then it runs. So what happens if the memories like RAM are very small? Could the program running or not? Yes, it depends, right? It depends. But it runs very slow. Because the principle is, if the program want to run, it should load into the memory. But because the memory is not enough, so it just load a little bit. Okay, and then finish, and then it loads next block, next block, next block. So that is the way computer work, with the limitation of the resources. But nowadays, computers are very high performance, so maybe they don't care about that. Okay. The memory can be divided into two kinds. Okay, one for desktop, bigger. One for the laptop, we call SODI for the. But actually, they are all the same function. Yeah. You can extend the memory with different time, with different size. For example, 1 gigabyte, 2 gigabyte, 4 gigabyte, or 8 gigabyte, depends. One more thing, you can choose technology for RAM. So when you design a new computer, you should think about very clear what kind of CPU we need, what kind of technology we can learn from that. Well, yeah, you can see the module time, and they showed you about the DDR. What means DDR? DDR means double data RAM. Okay? Motherboards are connected all components together. So you can see there are some slots here, right? So have you ever opened the desktop at home? Have you ever? Yeah. So what inside the computer? See here, right? Mainboard. What you can see in the mainboard. They are connect all components together. Right? Even monitor, even speaker, with the input like the keyboard, with the mouse. And chip are normally put in here. The CPU normally put in here. And if you want to put, let's see, you have a socket. So your chip and your socket should be matching. Otherwise, you cannot. And let's see, when you want to put the CPU in the mainboard, you need to think about the signal. It tells you the signal of matching. Okay? It's very simple. You can see there are some slots for memory. There are some slots for graphics. Some slots for PCI. So actually they define the setup to transfer the data between components. Okay, the socket actually are using to connect with the processor. You need to connect two, right? Now, normally we heard about the chipset. When you buy computer, just show the catalog, right? They say, what chipset? What does it mean? The chipset here actually tells you about what is the flow around the computer. So it can can design, the chipset can design the pathway to sending the data. It also designed to control the data flow. So that means chipset actually they define the way for control the data, the way we control for the controlling. And one more thing, connect with the own component together should be bus to connect together. So normally when you open the mainboard you cannot see the bus, right? The bus is actually okay, they deploy in the mainboard and then you cannot easy to detect it. Here's the diagram which had the connection between components like processor, the memory. In memory you have the RAM, okay, that is the local or internal memory. But you also have the outside memory, okay? But basically, here they connect together, and it also depends on the component. The name also very different. For example, when they connect with graphics source, so the bus should be graphics. Power supply are easy, right? No power mean no computing. Okay? No power. No computing. And for the PC, if you want to connect, right? Let's think about the shape. They mentioned about the shape. Port number, so many times. So you can see there are most are USB, right? Most are USB. This is an Ethernet port. Ethernet port. That means connect with Internet, connect with the local and network. This is speaker, right? They are connected with speaker. This is connect with the monitor. Okay, two more here are connect with the keyboard. And now we talk about performance. And I showed you on Task Manager, you can see the performance, right? For example, what is the utilization of the CPU? And you can see how the CPU works. And what is the capability for the memory. So normally if you see, okay, the CPU work like this one, mean is something like they are sleeping. But when you open many applications at the same time, and then the CPU will change. Okay, back. So we had a question. We have many computers. You had a computer. Your friend also had a computer, had a laptop. And so which one should be faster? How do we know which one is faster? We have the two computers, okay? If we make a comparison, and of course, you can answer the question very easy, like, which computer is the fastest? Okay, it's based on the performance matrix. So what is performance matrix? Let's talk. Okay, time or delay. The most important matrix, okay, most important matrix are time, execution time. How to calculate execution time? Okay, they define the execution time means the response time. That means from the input time to output time. Okay, input and output. processing time, input output delay, OS overhead, and idle time.
Nhanh vậy.
Okay, they are all connected, the delay with response. So if you are waiting for a long time, quality or performance are not very good. What we just mentioned here actually not depend on I/O, input output, overhead or OS overhead or idle time, but exactly the CPU time means the time they spend for running a given job, one task. How long? You need to answer this. And so we need to define performance metrics for the system. The first answer, what is important? Do you know? The question is, what is important with performance? Okay, here they mention performance. Here they mention about response time. Response time means from the beginning, that means start, and then you finish. Total time should be response time. Okay? So if the response time small, then it's good. That means the program will run very good, very fast. And we also had another thing, maximum completion rate. That means how many shots per second. We call it the throughput. So time are very important metrics for performance. Okay? And here, they mention about how to calculate, okay, performance. How to calculate performance for computer. Okay, and actually, you can calculate based on equation. Performance is equal with 1 divided by S. With F is response time. So mean performance, okay, depend on S. If response time increase and performance low. Okay? If response time are small and then you run fast. So here, if you want to measure the total time, so you can see that it can be calculated by the CPU time with input-output delay. So for example, when you write program, and at the time you need to open the file on hard disk, okay, so which one with the high priority should be used the resources, otherwise no. Okay, so to calculate the time, actually like the performance matrix, we only just focus on the CPU time. CPU time. So what is CPU time? Let's see. First we need to know how the CPU works. As I mentioned, we had a clock inside the CPU. It synchronized own action, own component. Okay, so let's see what we do, like follow the manually, tick tock, follow the clock, right? So what happened if we run tick tock, it's very fast. That means you finish the task early. So here, the duration or the clock circle, that's very important. tick tock, right? Tick tock. So tick tock means one circle.
Thế ta đang hỏi rồi.
Okay.
Ta đang chưa hiểu lắm.
So let's see. They design the clocks depend
Nó phải lớp
on
thưởng.
okay
Sao không hiểu?
the task you need to
Không hiểu
run,
sao làm
the
lại.
instruction you need to run. For example, here you can see that there are some, or there are one instruction in one circle. Very good.
Bạn phải cứ tạm dừng tất cả mọi thứ.
So we provide the lock or constant rate lock so that you can maintain the performance. And how to maintain? Let's see here. If the clock circle around
Ê mày, trông của tao xem có mác nào không nhá. Bà vào lúc
Okay.
bạn đập cho nào không chụp thế nào.
if we measure duration running clock period is a 0.25 nanosecond. No. If clock is the duration is about 250 picosecond or 0.25 nanosecond. And then you can see that clock's frequency or CPU speed should be calculated by this equation. 1 divided by clock circle or clock periods. And then you can see that in this case you have 4,000 megahertz. 4,000 megahertz means 4 kilohertz. Is that right? Yeah. So you can see clock frequency or speed, CPU speed can be calculated by 1 divided by the clock periods. So if clock periods are small and then performance very high. If clock are small and then you can see the melody are very hurried. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, right? If tick tock, then the speed of your computer are very low. So clock inside the CPU are very important, right? Okay, so as I mentioned, if you want to calculate the CPU time, okay, so you need to calculate based on this equation. Okay. You can see the CPU, you can see that the CPU time can be calculated by equation, mean the number of clock circle multiplied by clock circle time. So what does it mean? So if you want to calculate the performance in one computer, it should depend on the clock period. And how many number of clock circle? One period, it means one circle. And if number of clock circle increase, that means the CPU time is larger. Okay, so there are two things. You need to optimize your performance. The first, you need to reduce the number of clock circles for one program. So why important? Okay, now, let's see in this figure, right? One period, you can do one instruction. So how many periods should be how many instructions? Okay? So if the number of instructions is small, then of course it runs fast compared to other one. So here they mentioned about how to calculate the CPU time, right? The time of CPU work depends on the number of circles we are working and duration for the one circle. Or you can combine and make the different one. The CPU clock circle That means the number of clock cycle divided by clock rate. Do you know clock rate? Clock rate here. Clock rate means is a frequency. It calculates based on the ratios between 1 and 0.35 nanosecond. So to calculate the CPU time, we need to calculate the number of clock cycle and clock speed.
Cách làm bài tập kìa.
And here's an example about how to calculate the CPU time. Let's see, computer A had a speed about 2 gigahertz clock and 10 seconds for CPU time.
Ê, Tâm.
Okay, so
Second
10 seconds CPU time is the time for running a program.
Ê, có
Okay.
thông mở một đống
And now,
bài giảng của thầy thì
the
không
question
nhỉ?
is,
Có thông mở một đống bài
you need to
giảng.
design a new computer. It's better compared to computer A. Okay? So how to improve computer B based on what design on a computer A? For example, if you want to design your computer with high speed, and let's see here, they only aim for CPU time only 6 seconds. Compared to the computer A, 10 seconds. So which one should be better? Which one better? Computer B, right? Computer B only run for 6 seconds, but A should be 10 seconds. So the question should be, how fast must computer B clock be? That means we need to calculate the clock rate of the B. Okay? Okay, so equations are very simple. You had a ratio between the clock cycle divided by CPU time should be clock rate B. And you know about the clock cycle and CPU time. Okay, and then based on this equation, and then you calculate the clock rate for B. Is a 4 GHz. So that means if you design computer A 2 GHz, it runs 10 seconds. But now, if you increase clock rate, double, that means from 2 GHz to 4 GHz, and then the time now only for 6 seconds. So that means you can design, okay, your computer based on the CPU speed, okay, and based on clock circle. So it depends on the manufacturer, it depends on architecture, okay. And we have also had another question about instruction count and CPI. What does it mean, instruction count? So when you have the program running in your computer, if you want to calculate performance, or you want to measure performance, okay, you need to know how many instructions in your program. Okay? Because the only instruction will be loaded in the memory. And it's step by step, it follows orderly fashion. And then make an output. So instruction count is, okay, can be used to calculate the number of instructions for a program. So let's see, because the instruction, okay, is not the same duration. Okay, there are some instructions very short, there are some instructions very long. Okay, so how to calculate the performance? If all instructions have the same duration, it's good, but exactly no. You have many types of instruction in program, and one instruction they have a different duration. So here, right? They define the average circle per instruction. So you can see that in exercise, we had many types of instruction. And duration for one instruction also is different. So they propose the average circle per instruction. Okay? Okay, and then you calculate the CPU time. Yeah, based on the average circle per instruction. So here they mentioned about the CPI, right? The CPI. So what does it mean by CPI? What is it? What does it mean? CPI. What is CPI? What does it mean by C? Circle per instruction. Cycle. So what means how many cycles? How many or duration for one instruction? And we mentioned this, the duration for instruction are very different. So the average cycle per instruction should be, okay, calculus, okay. So here's an example to calculate the cycle per instruction. Let's see, computer A had a cycle time for 250 per picosecond. Okay, and average cycle per instruction should be 2. Computer B had a cycle time about 500 picosecond, so that means duration is longer. Let's go back here. You can see that the clock cycle or duration is very different between two computers. Okay, so let's see here. Computer A had a shorter cycle time or cycle or duration. Okay, but the CPIs, that means the cycle per instruction is a longer. Okay, the question is, which computer is the faster? Okay, you can see that we had a speed, right? We had the rate 2 GHz or 4 GHz, but now here exactly we just count the number of instructions per second, and based on that you can compare the performance. Okay, because the machine or computer had a different cycle duration and a different CPI. So of course when we compare performance, we need to mention about what is cycle time or what is the CPIs. So here they mentioned, they mentioned about the same INA. What is the INA? INA means instruction set. That means the CPU had the same instruction set. Only thing the difference in the cycle time and CPI. So to compare performance between two computers, right? They use the ratio between the time, CPU time. You need to calculate the CPU time B divided by CPU time A, and based on the equation, CPU time A can be calculated based on the number of instructions multiplied by CPI A with the cycle time A, and then we do the same thing with the computer B and divide by two components, and then you can see that B divided by A and equal 1.2. What does it mean? What does it mean by last one? When you calculate the CPU time B divided by time A, we got 1.2. What does it mean? So which one is longer? B or A? B or A? B, of course, right? That means the same program, but you run on computer B. Then it takes time, okay, or it longer compared what does it mean? A is the faster than the B, right? The same program but run on B, it takes more time compared to A.
Make anh kia là mày
Okay?
cái gì?
So let's see the equation. You see how to calculate the CPU time.
Hả?
First, you need to know how many instructions in the
Rồi đi cơ.
program. How many instructions? Okay? And next, how many cycles per instruction? Normally it's average cycle per instruction.
Tao chết. Vẫn luôn.
Okay? And next is the cycle time, that means the duration, the cycle time. And then you calculate the CPI. Okay. Here the mention about we had a multiple instruction time and the cycle time is also very different. So we use this equation to calculate the average. Okay? Average. So the clock cycle here can be calculated based on the number of instructions multiplied by CPI. Okay? And then use a weighted average. Okay, weighted average. You can divide clock cycle, divide instruction count. Okay, and then you calculate the CPIs. So this CPI actually average CPIs, right? Because we had a multiple type of instruction, and duration for one instruction was so very different. Here's an example, and it related to your exercise. Okay, we have many type of instruction like int or float or memory, integer or float or memory. And for one type of instruction, you can see the CPI is also very different. For example, for int instruction require only one cycle, but for this are two, for memory are three. So you can calculate, okay, for program 1 is the 2, program 2 is the 4. Yeah. So let's see, you can calculate the average CPI for two program 5 and 6. So based on it, you can see that, right? Program 1, here. If the instruction count is the 5, okay, you calculate the 10. And CPI should be 2. Program 2, we have a 6 instruction. The clock cycle can be calculated, follow the weighted moving average, calculate 9. And so based on that, you can calculate the CPI. So let's see here in this example, you can calculate the CPI, average CPIs for program 1 is a 2, program 2 is a 1.5. Okay? Yeah. So for iron law, actually, the way you calculate execution time. The time for running a program depends on the code size. The code size. So that means how many instructions in the program. Multiply with the size CPI. CPI means how many cycles per instruction. And next should be the duration for one cycle. So you can estimate the execution time for one program depend on the three parameters. Code size, CPI, cycle time. Okay? Yeah. So, yeah. So let's see one example about the iron law example. Machine A had the clocks 1 nanosecond, CPI 2, and it ran for the same program. So the question is, which machine is the faster, and how much? That means we need to calculate the CPU time. Okay. So here, based on the equation, if you want to calculate the time for one program X, and you need to know how many instructions in that program, and how many cycles for one instruction, and how long for one cycle. Okay, and based on that you calculate the time A should be the same. The number of instructions for the same program should be n. We don't know exactly. We assume that n is the number of instructions per program, and then you calculate based on this, and then divide A and B, okay? And we remove n, okay? We don't care about the n, but because we use a division, right? So time B divided by time A, and we had a 2.5n divided by we had a 1.5. So that means time B is greater than time A. Okay? So which one is faster? A, right? A or B? A, of course. Okay, so machine A is 20% faster than machine B. So in this chapter, to calculate the performance, you need to base on equation. The first 11 you should concern is how many instructions, or just based on iron law, right? How many instructions for the one program, and how many cycles for one instruction, and how long for one cycle. Based on that, you can calculate the performance. You can compare, okay, performance between computers. Yeah. Okay, so that is all for the chapter 1. And I want you to take a look at the slide and do this exercise. Okay? And we have the deadline. Okay? So any question for the chapter 1? Right? Let's see. This is the equation you can calculate, but actually here you can calculate based on this one. The speed can measure by utilization. Utilization. That means the number of tasks, okay, as using the CPUs. So you can have another performance matrix. It's not time, but it's the utilization. Okay, so easy to understand. Also, that is the CPU, or this very important, CPU times are very important, and it is the main performance metric for your computer. If the CPU's high speed, okay, of course, it runs very fast, right? Okay, is there any question? No? Okay, so I think that's enough, and you just join with your group, right? And discuss about the exercise 1, okay? And you try to make a recording and submit before the deadline.
21 tháng 4.
And you submit in your Slack, right? Share the link on Slack. Okay, so see you next week.
Đây là to đùng.